I don't want to make this. This hurts me. This feels like a genuine attack on me as a person. Fuck It Chapter 2! Dot thuds! Dot thuds! Dot thuds! I have the same problem with outrage culture as anyone else does. Everything becomes so binary. It's either the worst thing ever or the greatest thing ever. There's no in between. And I try really hard to resist that sort of take when it comes to talking about media. But when there is something that I am looking forward to so much, I rightfully get excited. So when the eventual follow-up, sequel, reboot, remake, spiritual successor, when it eventually comes out and it's disappointing, it is soul-crushingly disappointing. I'm gonna plant my rage flag into the ground, and I'm gonna say this is the single most disappointing film I've seen this year. It Chapter 2, chapter like a book. If the second half in the miniseries sucks, if the adult stuff in the book isn't that great, is there a need to shoot it truthfully? And is there even a need to shoot it at all? It is very interesting to watch the effects on a group of people over a extended period of time who all experience a shared traumatic experience as children. How does that affect different personalities in different ways? But I don't think this movie wants to explore that. There is some of the psychological repercussions from the time when they were kids, but it seems like they're struggling with the same shit. Bill still blames himself for Georgie. Rich can't take anything seriously. Ben still has insecurity problems about his body, and Eddie is neurotic to all hell. Some of the interesting places that they go with it is like Bev dating an abusive asshole similar to her dad, but wouldn't that have happened regardless of Pennywise or not? Because her dad wasn't controlled or influenced by Pennywise. I think Richie's the only one that we really get a new dimension to, and that's probably the most well-handled aspect of the film. One, because Bill Hader is immensely talented. He's so much better at dramatic work than I think any of us give him credit for. And I think they handled his particular storyline in a very respectful and sweet way. Richie, done right. I don't know what to bitch about. The things in Chapter 1 that worked really, really well, a driving through line. We experienced horrible, terrible things with the kids, and when they came together and realized they had a common enemy, it drove the plot forward to stop Pennywise. We have to get together and stop Pennywise. How are we going to do that? It's all these external forces trying to stop these kids from accomplishing their mission. They discover the power of friendship while doing it. And the danger feels so much more heightened when they're children. I don't like the decision for them to lose their memories. What really interested me about the adult part and what I really wanted to explore was living with this trauma. What would a neurotic, germaphobe adult be like who's experienced this horribly traumatic adventure? I think Beverly was really the only one that sort of had that long-term fallout. And she claims that she saw each member of the Losers Club die, but we only saw Stanley's, and she didn't really mention like, hey, don't go over there. That's where I saw you die. It was in a place like this. It never came into play. If you're adapting a source, you have creative liberty to tell the story that you see best represents the themes. You're free to change characters, you're free to change settings, as long as you're saying something about the source material. The pacing of it is incredibly off. All the characters come together, they don't know why they're coming together. They start getting their memories back. Let's split up. Finally come together as a group, and our friendship is strong. Now split up. We never really had a time frame, and we never had a sense of these are the objects you need to find. The characters just go to places, see a flashback or a spooky thing jumps out at them, and then it's done. And for most of them, we don't even know what artifact they grabbed until they throw it into the little jug. It just feels like a string of shorts. Like, horror jump scare clip that you would find on YouTube. Part of me wonders what this would be like if there was only 4 of them, right? Bill, Beverly, Richie, and Eddie. If you just had those 4, because I think they have the best dynamic out of all of them. How much tighter would the story have been? Mike was in charge of getting everyone together, so he took some peyote and a Native American tent, saw some visions for something that didn't work at all. Wanted more creativity. It's an old lady. She has a creepy white face. It's leper. Let's put a creepy wide face on him. There was some great imagery. Bev in the stall while Ben is getting buried and Bev's drowning. It's a really good visual representation of her trying to break out. Eddie confronts the leper from the first one. He chokes the leopard out, but then he gets too scared and stiffens up later in the house when his friend's life is legitimately on the line. It's like he overcame a major step, and then the writer said, no, he's still like where he's at. I like what they tried to do with James McAvoy and Bill, where he tries saving this kid that keeps popping up. He ultimately loses the kid to Pennywise, further sinking in this thought of helplessness. But there wasn't really a struggle. He was never stopping himself from pursuing Pennywise. And when they regrouped and he protested against them following him, they easily counteract that and just go with him regardless. I'm not sure if they presented it in a way that fleshed out that idea. It kills me to say that James McAvoy wasn't actually that good. I could never get a sense of him in this film. The ending should have been triumphant and heartbreaking and like swelling and like prideful and tearful. And I only got that out of Bill Hader's character, which shows like kind of a flaw in whatever they were trying to do with the other characters. It felt like a cheap imitation of it. Pennywise has lost all charm and playfulness. I wanted him to have something meaty. Give him a big meaty monologue. Go crazy. I wanted this film to go insane. The horrors that were presented in the first film are somewhat small scale. It's just a thing running at you. So let's go cosmic. I want it to be ethereal. I wanted these characters to face things they can't even imagine. And I want Pennywise to love it and indulge in it. The budget was there. They have the budget to do it. The design seemed lackluster. It was all the same color palette, gray and brown. And I wanted an ending like the end of Annihilation, where the music is just blasting. It's just like a sensory pool of colors, streams of movement, and you can make out what's going on, but you feel like you're almost floating above the film. I don't feel like there's a story that needed to be told here. And that's the most disappointing thing. You have my most highly anticipated follow-up to one of my favorite mainstream horror films in the past decade. And there wasn't a central theme that needed to be said, that needed to be presented, that wasn't already explored in the first film. I think I'm just going to consider it Chapter 1 a one and done. As far as I'm concerned, the sequel need not be. Wow, sorry about such a negative review, guys. I don't know what that was about. It looks like someone's a little fucking touchy, you know what I mean? Sorry that was such a downer, but this film legitimately made me sad and angry, and I just had to get my thoughts out. I'm sure there's so much more that I want to say. I don't know, that's the main shit. If you liked it, then great. I'm really happy. I wanted to like it, and I'm only disappointed because I'm not, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't either, and you shouldn't take my word as God, because I'm not an authority. I'm just a guy with a microphone. I don't really matter all that much at all. That being said, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check out my music. Go to my website for more shit. I'm Grayson Todd. Stay posy, even when I'm not.